I have to imagine Brand New Day is financially making up for all those failed Spider-Man spin-offs over the last few years. Here's looking at you, Morbius. Although you got bigger issues going on right now. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or depending on what time you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Movie history has been made. It only took one 5'8" man named Tom Holland to make that happen. So I did a video a couple days ago when it was announced that Spider-Man Brand New Day had made box office history by having the biggest preview of all time, making $72 million, beating Avengers Endgame by $12 million. Now, some experts had Spider-Man Brand New Day coming in around 260 to 280 million domestic, and I thought that might have been on the higher end. So the estimates finally came in yesterday. Spider-Man Brand New Day made an estimated domestic gross of $355 million, just $2 million shy of Avengers Endgame. That is a record that I thought may not be touched in a long time or ever. But yet here we are, only about 7 years after Endgame, and records are already looking to be broken. And one thing to keep in mind that makes this even more impressive is that it was done without IMAX screenings. So when No Way Home came out back in 2021, that was the biggest Spider-Man opening of all time, 260 domestic. That had that nice IMAX bump to it, bigger screen, better sound, all that good stuff. So you're gonna pay a little bit more for that premium experience. Well, guess what? Brand New Day didn't get that. That's because that other movie with Tom Holland called The Odyssey is just absolutely dominating IMAX screens right now. Nobody else is going to get that. In fact, there's a movie coming out later this month called The End of Oak Street, which I think said it was shot for IMAX. Probably isn't coming out in IMAX because it decided to come out the same summer as a Christopher Nolan movie, so you kind of screwed yourself there. Okay, so that's not to say that Spider-Man Brand New Day hasn't had the boost from premium screenings in general. It's still being released in other premium formats. I myself saw an RPX, which is Regal's premium experience, which, by the way, out of the 3 screenings that I went to of this movie, RPX was definitely the best. Or if you live near maybe like an AMC that does the Dolby, I would highly recommend. It's still getting boosts from the premium experience, just not for IMAX, which I still think if this movie had come out in IMAX as well, it would have the record. Way back in, I think it was the 90s, whenever Sony got the rights to the Spider-Man movies and all the Spider-Man spin-off characters, they basically said, we only want Spider-Man. Nobody else cares about anything else in this Marvel universe except for Spider-Man. Well, Sony, you were a little wrong on that, seeing as how Marvel built an empire now based on all these other characters. But in a way, you're still right. The biggest opening weekend of all time, Avengers Endgame, that has the title of Avengers, which is multiple superheroes together. This movie, that title is just Spider-Man. Even though, if you've seen the movie, there's tons of other great characters that show up. You got Hulk, you got Punisher, you got, oh, if you haven't seen it, I won't say it. Not huge spoilers, but, you know, nice other surprises besides just the Spidey Man himself. But again, the title is Spider-Man, one man making history at the box office. All right, so these are just the estimates. 355 million domestic. I think it's at 9. Let me double check. It's at 927 worldwide. This movie has made almost $1 billion opening weekend, which also would worldwide mean it's the second biggest of all time. Again, behind Avengers Endgame. I don't think it's going to catch that one. I think Avengers Endgame was 1.2 billion opening weekend. That'd be a little tough, but domestic, it's only 2 million behind it, and these are still estimates. So if you're not familiar the way that it works, I go by Box Office Mojo. That's where I get all my stats from. I love Box Office Mojo, which is part of IMDb. So Box Office Mojo, they do their weekend estimates on Sunday, and then later on Monday, that's when the actuals come out. So by the time I'm recording this, it's Monday morning. We only have the estimates. We'll find out later today, did Spider-Man actually break the domestic weekend record? Time will only tell. The first Jurassic World movie was a good example of this, where its weekend estimates came out, and it was just shy of being the record at the time, which was held by the first Avengers movie. By the time the actuals came out, the number was actually higher, and then it ended up being the record. And if you're a movie theater owner right now, or somebody that's just involved in like the, you know, if you're like one of these bigger executives at Regal, AMC, or even just like the smaller, you know, mom and pop theaters around there, you just got to be sitting back and just going, ooh, We needed that. Because, yeah, the movie theaters, we've all heard and seen the struggles that have been going on, the amount of screenings I've gone to in the last 5 years where it's barely any seats are filled, or sometimes I'm even by myself. And this brings up the next thing I did want to talk about. We do know that box office history was made, not just by Spider-Man, but by every movie that came out this weekend.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I didn't do fucking shit.
This article came out from Variety. This is from Rebecca Rubin. Spider-Man Brand New Day and The Odyssey power biggest collective weekend in box office history with $430 million. With the help of Spider-Man's little friends, aka The Odyssey, Toy Story 5, box office history was made. Because when you think about it, when Avengers Endgame came out and that came out big to that 357, the next closest movie after that, Captain Marvel, $8 million. But The Odyssey still made $51 million, which is very respectable, especially for a third weekend. And then this just brings up my last question that I want to ask. How big could this thing go? There's really not much coming out in August that I think is going to contend at the box office. So Spider-Man is most likely going to be dominating the #1 spot for a while. So really, we're probably looking at September before something can dethrone Spider-Man. And this movie, how big can it go? I think it's going to go pretty big. You know, if you look at Avengers Endgame, and keep in mind, that movie came out at the end of April, so it did have bigger competition going into May. Spider-Man's got nothing. Could this movie hit $1 billion domestic? I mean, that could be a box office record in itself. I want to say at the moment, Star Wars Force Awakens is the highest grossing domestic of all time, and it is, $936 million. Could Brand New Day get to $1 billion? I'll say no. I'll say it comes in shy of that. Maybe it gets to like around the 800, 900 million, but still, that is insanely impressive and much needed for this industry right now. If you are a movie theater owner, you're basically counting on Spider-Man Brand New Day and The Odyssey to really keep you going into August. Keep the customers coming just for that. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I'll keep an eye on the boxofficemojo.com and see what happens later today, and let's see if box office history was made. I mean, it already was made. Thanks, Tom Holland. You really know how to get butts in the seats. All right.
See you, chump.